making headlines this hour. Moody's affirms Maldives' Caa2 rating and shifts outlook to stable, reflecting stronger confidence in the nation's fiscal reforms. Health Minister says tobacco-free islands will move ahead only after community consultations with participation voluntary. The Maldives celebrates a significant tourism milestone, welcoming its 2 millionth international visitor of the year. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Minha Maroof. Moody's Ratings affirms the Maldives' long-term credit rating at Caa2, but drastically shifted the outlook from its previous status of negative to stable, signaling increased confidence in the nation's efforts to stabilize its precarious fiscal situation. The decision reflects Moody's recognition of the government's strong fiscal policies, effective measures implemented over the past year, and demonstrated capability to enhance the country's debt repayment capacity. This change suggests that the immediate risks associated with the Maldives' fiscal position have been substantially mitigated. For several years, the island nation struggled with a macroeconomic environment defined by government expenditure exceeding revenue and a rapid deterioration of its fiscal health. This high dependency on foreign currency borrowing had previously pushed government finances toward a potential debt default and depleted state official reserves to unprecedented levels. Moody's noted that the improvement in the macro-fiscal situation is primarily a result of deliberate fiscal and monetary policy adjustments. Key measures highlighted include revisions to crucial tax and fee rates, specifically the airport tax, green tax, and TGST rates, designed to significantly increase foreign exchange earnings. The implementation of robust foreign exchange laws and regulations has further bolstered official reserves and foreign exchange liquidity. Evidence of this success is visible in the Sovereign Development Fund, SDF. While holding only $15 million last year, policy changes have increased the foreign exchange cash balance with the SDF to $126 million by 9th November 2025. Additionally, the ratings agency acknowledged the government's commitment to expenditure reduction, successfully narrowing this year's budget deficit. Significantly, these stringent fiscal adjustments have not hampered economic growth. The vital tourism sector continues to thrive, with tourist arrivals increasing by 10% year-over-year, and tourist overnight stays up by 7.2% as of September. While the Caa2 rating remains in place due to the high existing level of public debt, the stable outlook underscores a positive medium-term trajectory. The government's medium-term budget for 2026 to 2028 is squarely focused on reducing the government deficit to a sustainable level and enhancing debt sustainability through annual repayments from the SDF. Crucially, the government has detailed plans to repay $500 million in sukuk and other maturing debt in 2026, laying the foundation for a lower debt-to-GDP ratio. Moody's also observed a renewed trust from international partners. Despite previously facing restricted access to foreign financing, the Maldives has successfully raised required capital through reciprocal countries, demonstrating its enhanced ability to secure financing from bilateral sources, a clear indicator that the new financial policies have earned the confidence of foreign investors and governments. The government has committed to continuing its strict revenue and expenditure policies, aiming to restore comprehensive fiscal and debt sustainability while maintaining macroeconomic stability. The government submits legislation to Parliament that would amend the former President's Protection and Benefit Act, reshaping the allowances granted to former heads of states while, for the first time, introducing benefits for former vice presidents. The proposal, tabled by Muhammad Shahid, Member of Parliament for Huludu, is designed both to reduce expenditure on former presidents and to broaden statutory entitlements to include vice presidents. At its core is the removal of the monthly allocation of $11,351.49 provided to former presidents for office operations. Government projections suggest this measure would save $681,198.91 in the coming year. lowering the overall budget for former presidential allowances from $1.28 million to $662,506.49. The bill also expands the conditions under which benefits are suspended. If a former president is elected to a second term or appointed to another state position, allowances would be withheld for the duration of that tenure, reinforcing the principle that benefits should not overlap with active service. In addition to these reductions, the legislation introduces allowances for former vice presidents, with annual expenditure projected at $19,459.46 for general allowances and $45,418.16 for medical expenses beginning next year. Health Minister Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim states implementation of the government's program to designate tobacco-free islands will proceed only after consultation with local councils and residents, and participation will be voluntary. The program, unveiled earlier, offers incentives to communities that collectively end tobacco use. In Parliament, Minister Nazim said the designations will follow international standards and specific criteria. He noted that island councils must engage residents in drafting implementation plans, building on earlier efforts in which awards were granted to communities pursuing similar measures. The initiative is structured as a three-stage process coordinated with the Health Protection Agency. Residents must first agree to prohibit tobacco use in public spaces. Communities are then required to end all commercial trade in tobacco products. The final stage calls for residents to collectively cease tobacco use, ensuring that earlier measures are sustained. Final determination will rest with an independent committee working alongside the agency, assessing compliance against standards comparable to those of the World Health Organization. Minister Nazim clarified that the awards reflects adherence to tobacco-free standards, not an absolute guarantee that no individual residents continue to use tobacco. President Dr. Muhammad Muizzu has earlier directed the creation of a 5-year master plan prepared with WHO assistance, introducing financial support for social activities on recognized islands. We will be back after a sharp press.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
PSM ಗೆ ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತಕ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಮಿಹಾರು PSM Air ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ತಿಯ ಬೇಫ್ಲುನ್ನ ಹಿಲೆ ಬಲಾಲೆವೇನೆ ಅದಿ ಅಡುವ ಹಾಲೆವೇನೆ ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಾಗು ಹುರೆಗೆನ್ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗಡಿಯ PSM ಗೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಬಲಾಲುಮ ಅವಹ PSM Air app ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿಹಾರು ಆಪ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಉನ್ನ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ ಮಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಲ್ಲೆವೇನೆ.
Welcome back to PSM News in English. The Maldives celebrates a significant tourism milestone, welcoming its 2 millionth international visitor of the year, signaling a major acceleration in the nation's recovery and growth targets. The 2 millionth tourist, identified as Bethany Sarah from United Kingdom, was warmly welcomed with a special ceremony at Valana International Airport, VIA. Sarah, who arrived in the archipelago for her honeymoon, expressed surprise and delight at the recognition, describing Maldivians as very kind and friendly people. The celebratory event was attended by Minister of Tourism and Environment Tariq Ibrahim, who lauded the achievement as a testament to the hard work across the entire sector. Minister Tariq highlighted the significant improvement compared to the previous year, noting that tourist arrivals have surged by between 9.8% and 10% this year, a growth he deemed very significant. This year's milestone underscores the rapid expansion of the Maldivian tourism industry. While the Maldives first reached 2 million tourists last year, it did so on 26 December. Achieving the same figure a full month earlier this year indicates a strong upward trajectory in the destination's appeal. Currently, the Maldives maintains a robust daily arrival rate of over 6,000 tourists, with China serving as the largest source market, contributing over 300,000 visitors to date. Minister Thorik emphasized that the continued commitment of all industry stakeholders remains critical to sustaining this record-breaking pace. In a landmark move set to reshape the educational landscape of the Maldives, the Male Vocational High School officially commences classes for its first pioneering batch. The opening was commemorated with a special ceremony at the Maldives Polytechnic, graced by the Minister of Education, Dr. Ismail Shafiu. The launch marks a significant milestone as it introduces the vocational pathway for the first time in Maldivian upper secondary education, offering specialized skills training under the formal structure of A-levels. The new institution, run by the Maldives Polytechnic under the Ministry of Education, is hailed as a crucial government initiative to cultivate academically talented young minds and address previously limited post-secondary opportunities. During his address, Minister Dr. Ismail Shafiu emphasized the government's substantial investment in education, noting the previous constraints of traditional formal education pathways. He proudly announced a significant increase in higher education opportunities from 31% to 49% and underscored the vocational pathway as a huge step towards building a talented generation. Echoing this sentiment, Maldives Polytechnic CEO Zushan Kamaluddin highlighted how this initiative effectively bridges the gap between formal education levels and higher education. The inaugural batch of 60 students will receive specialized training across 5 high-demanded programs: photography, information technology, architecture, electrical engineering, and small business management. Zushan also emphasized that these programs are meticulously designed to include crucial workplace experiences, ensuring practical readiness for the students. Adam Nasir Ibrahim, the Minister of the Wahi Language, Culture and Heritage, travels to China to participate in diplomatic meetings devoted to safeguarding cultural treasures. His visit is focused on the Second General Assembly of the Alliance for Cultural Heritage in Asia, ACHA, which is being held in Chongqing from 26 to 29 November. The Culture and Heritage Ministry has described ACHA as a crucial partner in advancing scientific initiatives to strengthen the heritage sector in the Maldives. Officials highlighted that this collaboration reflects the government's essential objective: protecting ancient artifacts and heritage sites and ensuring their preservation for future generations. Member nations of ACHA provide wide-ranging assistance that addresses urgent needs across the heritage field. This support includes restoration and repair of heritage sites, the transfer of essential technologies, and the specialized development of human resources. In pursuit of its preservation mandate, the government continues to seek comparable international partnerships, recognizing that sustained cooperation is indispensable to safeguarding the nation's cultural legacy. The Election Commission of the Maldives, ECM, is set to roll out a significant public awareness program aimed at bolstering the nation's democratic environment in anticipation ahead the local council and Women's Development Committee elections next year. The comprehensive initiative will span 36 islands across 12 atolls, commencing Friday and running through next Thursday. The core objective of this extensive program is to equip citizens with a deeper understanding of the Maldivian democratic system, including its operational mechanisms, foundational principles, and the intricacies of its multi-party framework. Participants will also be educated on their fundamental rights as citizens, the responsibilities incumbent upon those involved in the democratic process, and the workings of the electoral system itself. The program is designed to cater to a diverse audience, with dedicated sessions planned for eligible voters of all ages, alongside specific outreach to the nation's youth. A team of 24 trained facilitators who have successfully completed the ECM's Training of Trainers program will lead the various sessions. This collaborative effort sees the participation of key institutions, including the Human Rights Commission of the Maldives, HRCM, the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, and the Formulak City Learning Center of the Islamic University of Maldives, IUM. Public Service Media, PSM, will serve as the official media partner, ensuring widespread dissemination of information related to the program. President Alexander Vučić says in a televised address Serbia's Russia-owned NIS oil refinery will shut down in 4 days if the United States does not lift sanctions on the project, risking fuel supplies ahead of winter. Vučić said the Balkan country does have enough fuel reserves in the short term, but a shutdown of its only refinery will halt production of gasoline, diesel and jet fuel and may hurt the country's economy. He said that he would give the Russian owners, which include Gazprom Neft and Gazprom 50 days to sell their stake in NIS, or the Serbian state would take over operations and make an offer to buy them out. The U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control OFAC placed sanctions on Russia's oil sector in January, including NIS. The U.S. granted NIS repeated waivers before the sanction finally came into effect in October. Banks then stopped processing NIS payments, and Croatia's Janaf pipeline halted crude deliveries to the refinery, forcing the Balkan country to look for alternative supplies ahead of winter. U.S. President Donald Trump backs away from a Thursday deadline for Ukraine to agree to a U.S.-backed peace plan, saying, "The deadline for me is when it's over." Trump, speaking to reporters on board Air Force One as he flew to Florida for holiday, said U.S. negotiators were making progress in discussions with Russia and Ukraine, and Moscow had agreed to some concessions. He did not detail them.
Well, we're having
Zelensky to come visit you.
We're having good. I don't know. He would like to come, but I think we should get a deal done first. We're having good talks. We started with Russia. We're having some talks with Russia. Ukraine is doing well. I think they're pretty happy about it. They'd like to see it end. And we won't know for a little while, but we're making progress.
A US-based framework for ending the war, first reported last week, prompted French concerns that the Trump administration might be willing to push Ukraine to sign a peace deal heavily titled toward Moscow. Trump said his envoy Steve Witkoff would be traveling to Moscow soon to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and that his son-in-law Jared Kushner, who helped negotiate the Gaza deal that brought out an uneasy ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, was also involved. Trump in recent days had set for the holidays as the day when he wanted to see Ukraine agree to a deal to bring about an end to Russia's war in Ukraine. But he and his aides have backed away from a firm deadline and now say they would like an agreement as soon as possible. Trump said it appeared that Russia had the upper hand in the war and that it would be in Ukraine's best interest to reach an agreement. He said some Ukraine territory might be gotten by Russia anyway over the next couple of months. Kenyan running legend Eliud Kipchoge lands in Bangkok to a hero's welcome ahead of running at the event alongside Queen Suthida of Thailand. Queen Suthida and two-time Olympic marathon champion Kipchoge are set to run together at the amazing Thailand Marathon Bangkok. Thousands of runners will participate in the marathon, half marathon, 10K and 4.5K events at the Bangkok race. 41-year-old Kipchoge became the first person to run a marathon in under 2 hours in 2019, an achievement likened to the moon landing, though the attempt was not recognized as an official record as it did not adhere to World Athletics rules for open competition. Kipchoge last competed professionally at the New York City Marathon at the beginning of the month, finishing 17th in a time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 36 seconds. A new exhibition at London's Tate Britain unveils the paintings of British landscape artists J.M.W. Turner and John Constable, offering their greatest works along with paintings that weren't on display in the UK for decades. Marking 250 years since their births, Turner and Constable Rivals and Originals includes highlights like the Constable's first 6-footer painting, The White Horse, and Turner's 1834 oil-on-canvas work, The Burning of the House of Lords and Commons.
The Turner and Constable Rivals and Originals is an exhibition that's being held to celebrate the 250th anniversaries of two of Britain's most loved and famous landscape painters, J.M.W. Turner and John Constable.
The latter returns to London after more than 7 decades since it was acquired by the Cleveland Museum of Art in 1942. Turner's first exhibited oil painting, The Rising Squall, Hot Wells from St. Vincent's Rock, Bristol, also makes its first public exhibition since 1858, having been recently rediscovered after 160 years. Constable's diploma submission for membership in the Royal Academy, the 1826 nature scene, A Boat Passing a Lock, graces the exhibition's entrance alongside portraits of both artists. The artist's various paintings of clouds and a rainbow-laced landscape with Salisbury Cathedral also join the collection of over 170 paintings and sketches. As visitors walk through the rooms, they can also witness memorabilia like a chair used by Constable while sketching and Turner's fishing rod. While Constable and Turner were contemporaries, their rivalry was also well documented at the time. The exhibition also features quotes from publications of their era, such as an 1831 edition of Englishman's Magazine mentioning Turner's fire and Constable's reign. Turner and Constable Rivals and Originals opens to the public at Tate Britain on 27th November and continues till April 2026. And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a pleasant day ahead.